双语音标领航，注音阅读启蒙，叶兴阳有声读物。
Dolly Dialogues by Anthony Hope.
Contents.
I. A liberal education.
2.
Cordial relations. 3. Retribution.
4.
The perverseness of it. V. A matter of duty. 6. My last chance. 7. The little wretch.
8.
An expensive privilege.
9.
A very dull affair. X. Strange but true. 11. The very latest thing. 12. An uncounted hour. 13. A reminiscence. 14. A fine day. 15. The house opposite.
16.
A quick change. 17. A slight mistake.
18.
The other lady. 19. What might have been. XX.
One way in.
A liberal education. There's ingratitude for you. Miss Dolly Foster exclaimed suddenly. Where? I asked, rousing myself from meditation. She pointed to a young man who had just passed where we sat. He was dressed very smartly, and was walking with a lady attired in the height of the fashion. I made that man, said Dolly, and now he cuts me dead before the whole of the row. It's atrocious.
Why?
But for me, do you suppose he'd be at this moment engaged to 3,000 a year and the plainest girl in London? Not that. I pleaded. Think of. Well, very plain anyhow. I was quite ready to bow to him. I almost did. In fact, you did? I didn't. I declare I didn't.
Oh.
Well, you didn't then. It only looked like it. I met him, said Miss Dolly, 3 years ago. At that time he was quite unpresentable. He was everything he shouldn't be. He was a teetotaler, you know, and he didn't smoke, and he was always going to concerts.
Oh.
And he wore his hair long, and his trousers short, and his hat on the back of his head, and his umbrella. Where did he wear that? He carried that. Mr. Carter. Don't be silly. Carried it unrolled, you know, and generally a paper parcel in the other hand. And he had spectacles too. He has certainly changed, outwardly at least. Yes, I know. Well, I did that. I took him in hand, and I just taught him. And now. Yes, I know that. But how did you teach him? Give him Saturday evening lectures? Or what?
Oh.
Every evening lectures. And most morning walks. And I taught him to dance. And broke his wretched fiddle with my own hands. What very arbitrary distinctions you draw. I don't know that you mean. I do like a man to be smart. Anyhow.
Don't you?
Mr. Carter? You're not so smart as you might be.
Now.
Shall I take you in hand? And she smiled upon me. Let's hear your method. What did you do to him? To Phil Meadows?
Oh.
Nothing. I just slipped in a remark here and there, whenever he talked nonsense. I used to speak just at the right time. You know. But how had your words such influence, Miss Foster?
Oh.
Well, you know, Mr. Carter, I made it a condition that he should do just what I wanted in little things like that. Did he think I was going to walk about with a man carrying a brown paper parcel as if we had been to the shop for a pound of tea? Still, I don't see why he should alter all his.
Oh.
You are stupid. Of course. He liked me. You know.
Oh. Did he?
I see. You seem to think that very funny. Not that he did, but that, apparently, he doesn't. Well, you got out of that rather neatly for you.
No.
He doesn't now.
You see.
He misunderstood my motive. He thought, well, I do believe he thought I cared for him. You know. Of course I didn't. Not a bit. Just as a friend and a pupil. You know. And when he'd had his hair cut and bought a frock coat, fancy he'd never had one. He looked quite nice. He has nice eyes. Did you notice them?
Lord.
No. Well, you're so unobservant.
Oh.
Not always. I've observed that you're. Please don't. It's no use.
Is it?
I looked very unhappy. There is an understanding that I am very unhappy since Miss Foster's engagement to the Earl of Mickleham was announced. What was I saying before you know? About Phil Meadows. Of course. I did like him very much. You know? Or I shouldn't have taken all that trouble.
Why?
His own mother thanked me. I have no more to say, said I. But she wrote me a horrid letter afterward. You're so very elliptical. So very what, Mr. Carter? You leave so much out. I mean, after what? Why, after I sent him away. Didn't I tell you?
Oh.
We had the most awful scene. He raved. Mr. Carter. He called me the most horrid names. And tore his hair. It wasn't long enough to get hold of. She tittered. But don't laugh. It was really dreadful. And so unjust. And then, next day, when I thought it was comfortably over, you know, he came back and apologized. And called himself the most awful names. And well, that was really worse. What did the fellow complain of? I asked in wondering tones.
Oh.
He said I'd destroyed his faith in women. You know, and that I'd led him on. And that I was well. He was very rude indeed. And he went on writing me letters like that for a whole year. It made me quite uncomfortable. But he didn't go back to short trousers and a fiddle. Did he? I asked anxiously.
Oh, no.
But he forgot all he owed me. And he told me that his heart was dead. And that he should never love anyone again. But he's going to marry that girl.
Oh.
He doesn't care about her, said Miss Dolly reassuringly. It's the money. You know. He hadn't a farthing of his own. Now he'll be set up for life. And it's all due to you, said I admiringly. Well, it is, really. I don't call her such a bad-looking girl.
Though.
I hadn't seen her face. Mr. Carter. She's hideous. I dropped that subject. And now, said Miss Dolly again, he cuts me dead. It is the height of ingratitude.
Why?
To love you was a liberal education. Yes, wasn't it? How nicely you put that. A liberal education. I shall tell Archie. Archie is Lord Mickleham. What? About Phil Meadows. Goodness me.
No.
Mr. Carter. Just what you said. You know. But why not tell Mickleham about Phil Meadows? I urged. It's all to your credit. You know. I know. But men are so foolish.
You see.
Archie thinks. Of course he does. You might let me finish. Archie thinks you were never in love before. Yes.
He does. Well.
Of course. I wasn't in love with Phil. Not a little bit.
Oh.
Well. Nor with anyone else? Miss Dolly looked for an instant in my direction. Nor with anyone else? Said I. Miss Dolly looked straight in front of her. Nor with, I began. Hello, old chappie. Where did you spring from? Why, Archie, cried Miss Dolly.
Oh.
How are you, Mickleham? Old man? Take this seat. I'm just off.
Yes.
I was, upon my honor, got to meet a man at the club.
Goodbye.
Miss Foster.
Joba.
I'm late. And as I heard Miss Dolly say, I thought you were never coming. Archie.
Dear.
Well, she didn't think he was coming just then. No more did I. Cordial relations. The other day, I paid a call on Miss Dolly Foster for the purpose of presenting to her my small offering on the occasion of her marriage to Lord Mickleham. It was a pretty little bit of jewelry, a pearl heart. Broken. Rubies played the part of blood, and held together by a gold pin, set with diamonds, the whole surmounted by an earl's coronet. I had taken some trouble about it, and was grateful when Miss Dolly asked me to explain the symbolism. It is my heart, I observed. The fracture is your making. The pin. Here Miss Dolly interrupted. To tell the truth, I was not sorry, for I was fairly gravelled for the meaning of the pin. What nonsense, Mr. Carter, she said, but it's awfully pretty. Thanks so very, very much. Aren't relations funny people? If you wish to change the subject, pray do, said I. I'll change anything except my affections. Look here, she pursued, holding out a bundle of letters. Here are the congratulatory epistles from relations. Shall I read you a few? It will be a most agreeable mode of passing the time, said I. This is from Aunt Georgiana. She's a widow, lives at Cheltenham. My dearest Dorothea. Who? Dorothea's my name, Mr. Carter. It means the gift of heaven. You know. My dearest Dorothea, I have heard the news of your engagement to Lord Mickleham with deep thankfulness. To obtain the love of an honest man is a great prize. I hope you will prove worthy of it. Marriage is a trial and an opportunity. Here, said I. A trial for the husband and— Be quiet, Mr. Carter. A trial and an opportunity. It searches the heart and affords a sphere of usefulness which— So she goes on, you know. I don't see why I need be lectured just because I'm going to be married. Do you, Mr. Carter? Let's try another, said I. Who's that on pink paper?
Oh,
that's Georgie Vane. She's awful fun. Dear old Dolly. So you've brought it off. Hearty congrats. I thought you were going to be silly and throw away. There's nothing else there. Mr. Carter. Look here. Listen to this. It's from Uncle William. He's a clergyman. You know. My dear niece, I have heard with great gratification of your engagement. Your aunt and I unite in all good wishes. I recollect Lord Mickleham's father when I had a curacy near Worcester. He was a regular attendant at church and a supporter of all good works in the diocese. If only his son takes after him. Fancy, Archie. You have secured a prize. I hope you have a proper sense of the responsibilities you are undertaking. Marriage affords no small opportunities. It also entails certain trials.
why?
You're reading Aunt Georgiana again. Am I?
No.
It's Uncle William. Then let's try a fresh cast unless you'll finish Georgie Vane's. Well, here's Cousin Susan's. She's an old maid. You know. It's very long. Here's a bit. Woman has it in her power to exercise a sacred influence. I have not the pleasure of knowing Lord Mickleham, but I hope, my dear, that you will use your power over him for good. It is useless for me to deny that when you stayed with me, I thought you were addicted to frivolity. Doubtless marriage will sober you. Try to make a good use of its lessons. I am sending you a biscuit tin and so on. A very proper letter, said I. Miss Dolly indulged in a slight grimace, and took up another letter. This, she said, is from my sister-in-law, Mrs. Algernon Foster. A daughter of Lord Doldrum's, wasn't she? Yes. My dear Dorothea, I have heard your news. I do hope it will turn out happily. I believe that any woman who conscientiously does her duty can find happiness in married life. Her husband and children occupy all her time and all her thoughts, and if she can look for few of the lighter pleasures of life, she has at least the knowledge that she is of use in the world. Please accept the accompanying volumes. It's Browning, as a small— I say, Mr. Carter, do you think it's really like that? There is still time to draw back, I observed.
Oh, don't be silly.
Here, this is my brother Tom's. Dear Dole, I thought Mickleham rather an ass when I met him,
But I dare say you know best.
What's his place like? Does he take a moor? I thought I read that he kept a yacht.
Does he?
Give him my love and a kiss. Good luck, old girl.
Tom.
P.S. I'm glad it's not me. You know. A disgusting letter, I observed. Not at all, said Miss Dolly, dimpling. It's just like dear old Tom. Listen to grandpapa's. My dear granddaughter. The alliance. I rather like its being called an alliance. Mr. Carter. It sounds like the royal family, doesn't it? You are about to contract is in all respects a suitable one. I send you my blessing and a small check to help towards your trousseau. Yours affectionately, J.N.O. William Foster. That, said I, is the best up to now. Yes. It's 500, said she, smiling. Here's old lady MS.
Whose?
I exclaimed. Archie's mother's. You know. My dear Dorothea, as I suppose I must call you now, Archibald has informed us of his engagement, and I and the girls, there are 5 girls, Mr. Carter, hastened to welcome his bride. I am sure Archie will make his wife very happy.